I am delighted that you are here to spend some time with me right now. I'm Dr. Susan, and the title of our series is Play and Learn. And today, we're going to discuss and take a look at where is your spot in the world? I know no matter where you are right now, whatever city you live in, whatever town you live in, of course, that's the spot where you are right now, okay? And we're always in the spot that we're in at this moment in time. But the spots that we're talking about is ways we can be here, and as we grow and change and develop, our spots are going to change and move around. We're going to be moving around all over the place. And how we go about doing that, because we have a whole world to look at. And the world in which we have, that we think this is all the world is the area in which you're living in right now, which is your home and your community and your neighborhood and your school, and that's kind of what your world is right now. There's a whole other world out there happening at the same time, moving and changing, and people moving in and moving out of all different experiences. So we're going to see and what that kind of looks like. It's called diversity. There's so much diversity in the world, so many different things to see and do and be aware of. So we're going to the story that we're going to be looking at today, and I'm going to show you the book because I want to show you a couple things about the book. But it's called Finding Your Spot in the World, a story about diversity. The author is Diane Alder, and she wrote and illustrated the book. But the cool thing about the book is up on the back side, you can see all the different kinds of ideas that she talks about. We've read several of her books in our series. One is called Snippet, and there's a couple of other ones that we've done already. But this series is really fun. So we're going to look at this one, which is over here on this side. And her website is hername.com. So you can get on her website and see there's always an activity at the end of the book, which we're going to be doing this morning, at the end of the book that you can do. And you can find her books on Amazon. That's where I find most of my books, is you can find it on Amazon. So if you like the idea of the book and the spot, you can go ahead and look those up and possibly order those if Mom and Dad want you to do that. But they're interesting stories. So we're going to put this back up here. And we're going to take a look at the story first, and then we can talk about what a deeper meaning of what diversity is. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to do that. So sit back and relax, and we're going to take a look at the story. All right. Story time. Finding Your Spot in the World, a story about diversity. Okay. I already told you about the author. And Spot is the character that talks throughout the whole book. It says, "Hi, my name is Spot, and I'm not just an ordinary Spot. I'm here to help you find your spot in the world." And the little boy says, "What does that mean?" "But the world is so big." That's a lot of territory to cover. "There are millions of people in this world, and we all look different, act different, and like different things. We each have tough challenges, individual talents, and unique strengths that make us who we are." And I love the little guy at the bottom. Right now we'll just call him Yellow Spot because he's the one that's telling us the story. "I know sometimes it may feel that you don't belong or fit, but we all have a special spot in the world, and our differences can make the world a better place." So think about that. You can see the look on his face. He says, "Oh my gosh, I don't know where I want to be, what I'm going to do." And so sometimes that can be very frustrating, and sometimes it can be very scary. This is the amazing thing about diversity. So he's going to tell us about what that looks like. If everyone was the same, that wouldn't be fun at all. Imagine only having the same color crayon in a crayon box. You could really get tired of the color red. How could you create a beautiful rainbow? That's why I'm here, to help you discover what makes you unique and how we can all grow together. Being different comes in all shapes and sizes. Some differences you can see, and some differences you can't. Now, if you just looked at those silhouettes that you have on this side, at the other side of the page, it wouldn't tell you very much about who those people are, would it? Or who those kids are. It wouldn't tell you much of anything. You just see shapes. So let's see if we can go dig a little further into that. You may see someone with different colored skin or hair, but we all want to feel accepted and confident in ourselves. So you see all the different hair colors and skin colors and all the different ways in which we smile. Look at the different kind of smiles in there. You may see someone with different eyes, but we all cry tears and feel pain when someone is unkind. So we have to think about that when someone is unkind and how we feel. But everybody does it. Everybody feels that way too. You may see someone with a different way of doing things, but we all want to create something beautiful. And you know, the person that created that robot is probably very beautiful to them. If we look at it and we go, wow, that's really different. Good for us. It's good that it's different. You may hear someone with a different voice or accent, but we all can say nice things to each other. You may see someone that communicates differently, but we all want a chance to share information. So we have someone that is sign language to help the gentleman or the young boy that's having a hard time hearing. Okay? There's lots of ways to talk to each other and express ourselves. How many ways can you express yourself? These are very cool. You have a dancer and a musician and a singer and a painter. You may see someone with different hands, but we can all give high fives or help someone up when they have fallen down. And sometimes it doesn't mean the physical falling down. It means if they're having a hard time, we can listen. That's a way of giving a hand up. You may see someone move differently, but we all want to go places and explore the world. Look at all the different ways that happens. And that doesn't make anybody less. They're still the same. You may see someone with a different skill or talent, but we all want to do something we love when we grow up. And all those different, we have a soldier and a fireman and a policeman, a painter, a doctor, an athlete, a baker or cook, and a scientist. Lots of different ways to express yourself in the different talents and interests that we all have. Your differences may stand out, and so might the differences of others, but the world needs them. We need diverse ideas, diverse talents, and diverse perspectives. Each person has a special spot in this world. What's yours? Do you know? The end. So how do we know what our spot is? She was talking about lots of different ways in which we can see things. And perspective is, you have one person here that says, maybe it's baseball. We'll talk about baseball. And one person throws the ball this way. And the other person that says, no, 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 that's not a good way to do it. I'd rather do it this way, overhand and underhand. And does it really matter? Does the ball get to where it needs to go? But it's okay if someone does it this way and someone does it this way. That neither one of them are wrong. They just do it to their skill or their talent. Same way, have you ever gone to a museum and went in to see all the big, huge paintings they have all over the walls, and you have these ropes, you have to stand far back? But when you go and you walk in and you look at this picture, I know we talked a picture about dots, and there's just one black circle right in the middle of this great big huge canvas. And we go, okay, well, what does that mean? Well, it may not mean anything to us, but it was something very important to the artist that painted it. And sometimes when you see artists that see things in a different way, a human face is distorted. And maybe that's that artist's way of sharing that this portrait or picture that he was drawing, or she was drawing, had to do with how the person was feeling inside, not what you looked at. And that was a picture of what was going on inside that person, or that idea that that artist was doing. So there's lots of different ways to see things. That's the different perspectives. And it's great to have that, as she talked about. She talked about having a crayon box that only had red crayons in it. Well, what can you do with a red crayon? You can come up with lots of ideas. You can do fruit, tomatoes, cherries. You can do all kinds of different things with it. But you probably get pretty tired of the color red after a while, which is another part of diversity. How many colors do we have in a crayon box? I think the biggest crayon box I saw was 108 colors. How do you get that many colors? Who creates all those different colors? And the most important part, who names them? Have you ever thought of somebody coloring? You have 4 different blue crayons. You have sea blue, you have sky blue, and you have the snow and things like that when it gets touched by when the sun rays hit the snow and have it look like it's blue. There's so many different things, but we have four different colors of blue. And the names are interesting, but who do you suppose does that? Somebody has a talent that sees these colors and comes up with these wonderful creative names, like pumpkin orange or spice brown or any of those wonderful things. But you have to think of, who does that? Who is that person that gets to sit and come up with all those colors? I do sewing, so I'm fascinated with how many patterns and designs that people come up with. And those are the talents, and that's diversity. Somebody can look at the same picture, and you have 2 totally different pictures when they hold them up, because they both see them from 2 different perspectives, different eye sets, you know? And it's like, does a blue person see more blue colors than a brown person? And a brown person see more brown than a blue eyes person? No, doesn't have anything to do with that. But they have different eye colors. Their perspectives are different, probably. I don't think we run into too many people that have the same perspective. So the different things she was talking about, a lot of it was that she talked about was about physical, you know, see people's hands and their hair color and their eyes and their smile and, you know, the way they talk, the language they're speaking in. You see, that's all diversity. That's so many different things. But I want to go back to the picture that she showed us of black silhouettes of all these different shapes. She was talking about shapes and sizes. And if you just saw that, would you know anything about that person? Not a whole lot, probably. And when I was thinking about that, on the last page of the book, she has this page that's right here. You can see it. And it says, can you spot what makes you unique? Well, there's a lot of people that have brown hair, a lot of people that have brown eyes, and a lot of people that are 5'2" and 5'3" and 6'4", and a lot of people have those different sizes. You know, how many people do you know? How many friends do you have that are the same size as you, but they may be 2 years difference in age? Our bodies just grow at different rates. And when you see that, does that tell you anything about that person outside of the fact they're tall, or they're short, or they're wide, or they're thin? Does it really tell you anything about them? And would you be interested in wanting to get to know that person just by the way they look? There's usually something about a person that you meet them and you see them, and you go, wow, I'd really like to know that person. And you're making your thoughts about that just from what you see. So anyway, she has this picture, and she has self-portrait. You know what a self-portrait is, right? You're supposed to draw a picture of what you look like, or what you think you look like, what you look like to yourself. So that's the self-portrait. Well, when I was thinking about that, I said, does that really tell anybody if I drew my picture here? You know, my colored hair and my eyes are brown, I wear glasses and things like, would that tell you very much about me, if you think about that? Probably not. So what I thought we would do, which is kind of fun, is there's questions here, and I'm going to read the questions, and I'm going to kind of just give you an answer, and then we'll do a different kind of answer and see if you can see the difference. Okay, her first question is, I'm good at. So let's say you're good at playing softball or baseball. I like to eat hamburgers. I like to watch cowboy movies. I like to play baseball. Because you're good at baseball, you like to play baseball. I want to be an athlete, a baseball player when I grow up. I like to listen to, that could be music or stories or all kinds of things. So that's kind of the answers. So the answers that you got about the person here, he'd probably be a boy, most likely. We have a lot of girl baseball players, though. Is that you'd have a face, and then you'd have a baseball cap, and maybe a baseball shirt with a number on the front of it, and that would be a self-portrait of that person. Well, I thought about, let's look at it from a different perspective. We're talking about perspective and diversity. So we're going to talk about me, because I'm the one that answered these questions, and show you what I came up with and the ideas that I came up with that will give you a little bit more insight into me. Not just what I look like, not the color of my hair, my eyes, I wear glasses, and, you know, that kind of a thing. And I'm 5'2", and you know how tall I am, and all that kind of stuff. So this is a different perspective that we're going to go for. But it's a really cool sheet that she has at the back of all of her books that relate to the story. So you can also, and you can get these off of her website. All right, I'm going to go to the first question. Okay. So we're going to go to the first question. And first I have to show you this. This was the idea that I had. I just have this paper, this gold paper, and I did this heart, and I said, this is me. There's not a picture. It doesn't tell you how tall I am, what color hair I have, what color eyes I have. It doesn't tell you any of that. It just said, this is me. That could be 25 people outside the front door, that this is me. So we're going to see how that relates. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut this out, because before I can do the other part to this idea that I had, we're going to have to cut this out, this, and this idea came when I was working with the book, and when I saw the shapes that were on the one page, the black silhouettes, I thought, oh, I have an idea what might be fun to do with that. But what I realized the more I thought about it, is I realized it was the same old thing. It wasn't any different than we normally have, that we normally see. So I'm going to take this, I'm just going to put some glue on it. And if it doesn't like to stick, there's good old tape. As you can tell, I really love tape. See, there's something you didn't know about me. I love tape. So there you go. Now you know something else about me. Okay, I'm going to put this in the middle, just like this. Okay, so there we go. So the way in which I answered the questions is going to give you some insight about me. Not, as I said, not about how you see me, but the inside of me, how I think, and what I think about. And that gives you more perspective on, would I be an interesting person to get to know? Would you like to do things with me and do the activities that I do, and I can do the activities that you do, because we have common ground, or we think similar, all right? So, to the answer to the first question, it says, I am good at. So what I think I am good at, and I'm going to cut this off before I read it to you. This is part of our picture here. So you have a picture of me. is I'm going to take this, and it says, I am good at listening. Okay? So we're going to put some glue on the back of this, and we're going to kind of do it like rays of sun. I'm going to go like that. I am good at listening. All right? The next one is I like to eat. Well, yeah, I like to eat. I think everybody likes to eat. But mine is there's a little bit more to eating than just putting food in your mouth and filling up your stomach. There's another part of that. I like to eat. I'll put glue on this, and then I'll read it to you. And I hope you're getting a good idea of what this is about. I like to eat with my family and my friends. So I'm going to put that here. Okay? And that tells you a little bit about me, is that I like to eat with my family and friends. So I like to do social things. I like to go to dinner with my friends, and I really enjoy my family and being around them and sitting and having dinner at night, talking about the things that we did and the activities we had during the daytime. Okay, the next one is I like to watch. I had to think about that a little while. I like to watch. Well, the first thing that would come to mind is movies, TV, you know, what favorite shows I like to watch, but that doesn't tell you anything about me. So this is what I did. And I'll put some more glue here. What I did was I like to watch my grandsons grow and change. So that tells you that I have grandkids, okay? And it also gives you the idea that there's more than just saying I have grandsons. What do I like to do? Well, I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching them change from day to day and week to week and month to month. I like doing that. I like being an observer of their life and see the things that happen to them and how I can make a difference for them. Okay, so there's that one. And the next one is I like to play. Well, I don't know, you might be able to guess this one. I like to play. Well, I like to play lots of stuff. But one of the favorite things that I like to do is I like to play with my family and my friends. So it just doesn't talk about one sport, going to the sports or ice skating or any of those things like that. I like to play with my family and friends, which gives you an idea that I do different things with different people. I go do things with my friends. Maybe we go to a play, or we go watch a baseball game, or we just go do different activities, go to the movies and stuff like that. And I do that with my family too. And it gives me diverse activities and diverse things that other people enjoy doing. So that tells you a little bit more about who I am. Okay, the next one is I want to be. Well, I have a list of what I've been and what I'm doing and what I'm doing now. But I want to be the best I can be at everything I attempt and try. So I want to be the best I can be. And when I talk about that, is the best I can be covers a lot of different ideas. It's like the ways in which you can be in the world. You know, you can be a good listener that I have up at the top. You can be a good friend. But I want to be the best at it that I know how to be. And lots of times when we're creating things and doing things that we want to be the best at, guess what we have to do? We have to practice. We have to get better at it each time we try something new and go someplace different. You want to be the best person you can be no matter what situation you're in or what you're doing. So if we always try to do our best, at that moment we do something that we're the best at, we think. And then we learn something a little more about what we're doing. And we get better. So being the best at what you are and what you do and everything else, we start that way. But every time we do something, even if it's the same thing, we get better at it. It's like, were you really good batter at baseball when you first started? If that's one of the things that you did, were you really good at that? Or did you like to pitch better? Or all those different activities that you did with that one sport. How much better you got at it. And then, of course, you find that very special thing you're really good at. And you keep improving on that. You keep making it better and better. So by sharing, I want to be the best that I can be at whatever I'm doing. Let you know that I like to strive, or I like to do things better and better and better for myself. Because when I do, guess what I do? I make it different for myself. I make it different for you. I make it different for my community. I make it different for my world. So that's one of the places I like to come from. So now the last question that they have in here, or she has in here, is I like to listen to, and one of my favorite things is to listen to, I'm going to do my glue first before I tell you the last couple of words, is I like to listen to loving and positive words. Not only the loving and positive words I say to myself about myself, because it's important to love yourself. The more you love yourself, the greater love you can give to other people. Is that I love to say loving things and positive words because that keeps my world bright and happy and joyful. And the more I say the loving and positive things, the more I hear back. The more I run into people that feel the same way and speak the same way or use the words very similar to what I do. So what I give out to the world, I also get back. So the other part about me is I like to make a difference out there, so I have a difference in here. So that's another part of who I am. Okay? Now, the last one, she doesn't have one more on this list, but I made up one because I like this part. No matter where you are, what you're doing, or however you're being, every day, every thought, every word is creative. You're creating something. What are you creating? And that's your choice. That's something you get to do. You get to make a difference, no matter what it is. And one of the things, besides the careers that I have, one of the things that I love to do is I like to being creative by sewing. I love to sew. I love to make things that people can wear. I love to make things people can use. I love to make things that make my grandson smile and laugh. Our favorite things is to make sock puppets. You know, the socks you just put on your hand, you Google eyes and all that fun stuff. And we love doing that. We have a puppet theater and we play with that. And so this is another part of me. I like being creative by sewing. So how many creative things do you like to do? Singing, dancing, drawing, painting, sports, being an athlete, all these different things. There's so many. So now you have a picture of this is me. You know that I like to listen. You know that I enjoy my family. I love seeing my grandsons and how they change. I love to play and be active with my family and friends. I try to be the best I can be at whatever I'm doing. I like to hear loving and positive words, so I make sure those are the words I use so that I get them reflected back to me. And I like being creative by one of my favorite activities, which is sewing. So now you have a little bit better picture of me through this, which is why this is me, than if we just filled in things I like to eat, things I like to do, things I like to watch on TV, things I like to play, what games I like to play, and I want to be grown up, I don't know, all kinds of different things. That gives you a picture of the outside of me. And I wanted to take a look today at how you see yourself from the inside, because people don't get a picture of that. We don't wear that on the outside of us. You know, we see our hair color, our eye color, our skin color, and all of that. We don't see the other parts. So this way, by taking this kind of answering the questions in this way, you get a better picture of who I might be. And that's the way that I am inside. And that's the activities and things I try to do that demonstrate that on the outside. So here's two different forms of ways in which you can be. This form is fun to fill out. But if you can take some time and figure out ways in which you can use words, not pictures, because pictures are just pictures. It's what goes on the inside that makes that picture come alive, that makes that picture love, that makes that picture be all those things. So I hope you take some time to think about that for yourself. And when someone says, can you do a self-portrait? You think, yeah, I can. And then astound them with, well, how did you figure that out? They know so much more about who you really are. So you guys have a wonderful week. Go out there and discover who you really are and your uniqueness and the things that you make. And remember, every spot you're at, each and every day, is where exactly you need to be so that you can learn and grow and make a difference. So have a fabulous time. Make some differences all over the place and show people who you are. So you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.